I was excitedly about to call my husband to tell him, my dad is the richest man in city, and he has already accepted him, his company's financing issues will be resolved immediately. However, as soon as I opened my phone, I saw that my husband's company partner, Vivian, had posted an ultrasound scan on Facebook. Love doesn't distinguish between first come, first served. My husband had liked it below, and I followed by liking it too. Congratulations, congratulations. A few seconds later, the Facebook post was deleted. My husband called angrily, "Don't cause trouble. Vivian is pregnant with my child, she is the daughter of the richest man in city. Marrying her will completely solve the company's financing problems. Let's divorce. Does my dad have another daughter?" 5 minutes ago, I received a call from my parents, saying that for the sake of the child, they were willing to accept Kevin. Overjoyed and in tears, I opened my phone to tell Kevin that my father is actually the wealthy William, and to have him accompany me back to my parents' home tonight. Lately, he has been troubled by the company's financing matters, and at that time, my dad would certainly be willing to help him. However, when I opened my phone, I happened to see Vivian's Facebook post with an ultrasound scan. Love doesn't distinguish between first come, first served. My husband had liked it below, so I followed by liking it. Congratulations. Congratulations. Vivian is Kevin's company partner, smart and capable. We have met a few times, and each time she calls me sister-in-law affectionately and is very enthusiastic toward me. However, Vivian seems unmarried. Does she have a boyfriend? The next second, I saw the Facebook post deleted. At that moment, Kevin called, without any preamble, angrily saying, "Don't cause trouble. Vivian is pregnant with my child, she is the daughter of the richest man in city. Marrying her will completely solve the company's financing problems. Let's divorce." I was stunned. Vivian is the daughter of the richest man in city? Then who am I? It took me a long time to realize that Kevin didn't seem to be joking at all. The next second, I almost roared, "What are you saying? Are you crazy?" He was unusually calm, without even a trace of guilt in his tone. "I'm not joking, things have come to this, and you can only accept it." My voice trembled. "What about the baby in my belly? What about him? What exactly do you want?" "Vivian and I have discussed it, she can accept that you have a child, but she doesn't want to be without status. So, we'll divorce first. I'll marry Vivian, but you'll still be my wife, and I'll treat you and the baby well." Kevin sighed and said affectionately, "Sophia, I love you. For you and the baby to live a better life, this is the only way now. If you don't want to live under the same roof, that's fine, there's a villa in Dale, she can live there." I couldn't believe what I heard coming from a normal person's mouth. "Kevin, you're dreaming." I slammed the phone down hard. Kevin and I fell in love for 8 years from campus to wedding, married for 2 years. Back then, to marry him who had nothing, I didn't hesitate to cut ties with my parents, even declaring to them, "I will definitely be happy to show them." To prove how wrong they were to look down on Kevin. I didn't expect that in just 2 short years, I would be harshly slapped in the face. Outside, thunder roared and lightning flashed. I curled up on the ground and cried all night. I couldn't understand when Kevin had become like this. Or had he always been this way, and I was just too stupid to notice? So when did he and Vivian get together? Did they sneak around right under my nose? When they were having an affair, did they think I was just a fool? Oh my God. I was too stupid, too foolish, and I never suspected Kevin. I cried all night, and Kevin didn't come home all night. He must have gone to Vivian's. Are they celebrating in bed right now? I gently stroked the fetus that had been restless all night because of my mood, feeling an indescribable guilt. "I'm sorry, baby." The next day, near noon, as I dragged my tired body out of the bedroom, Kevin happened to push the door open, carrying breakfast tea from Jingy Pavilion. When our eyes met, he avoided my gaze out of guilt but casually placed the expensive pastries on the dining table. "Didn't you always want to eat at Jingy Pavilion? I brought it back for you now." Yes, I always wanted to go, but he would say, "Next time. Too busy lately. And Jingy Pavilion is so expensive." what's so good about it? Now he finally has time, doesn't mind the expense? And he brought me leftovers. In his eyes, am I some cheap person now? I sat down opposite him, glanced at the pastries, and smiled sarcastically at him. Congratulations, you've climbed up to the richest man's daughter. From now on, you can go to Jingy Pavilion whenever you want. Kevin sighed deeply. Don't be sarcastic, I thought after thinking all night, you'd understand. Sophia, I'm marrying Vivian entirely for the company, she can help my career. On the phone, I made it very clear, you are still the woman I love most, even without that marriage certificate, I will take responsibility for you and the baby to the end. As he spoke, he took out the divorce agreement, even preparing the ink pad and pen for me. Sign it, you have no other choice. I have no other choice? How do you know I don't? Kevin frowned. The child is already over 4 months, do you really want to abort him? Can you be that heartless? If you give birth, you've been out of work for over 2 years, it's not easy out there now, and you have no family to rely on, how can you raise the child alone? Sophia, don't be stubborn. I've already paved the way for you and the child's future, I absolutely won't mistreat you. His words pierced my heart like cold knives, one after another. From Vivian's ultrasound, it's at least 3 months, he waited until now to come clean with me, just to wait for my fetus to grow, leaving me no way out but to depend on him to live. Looking at this man whom I once regarded as the love of my life, I felt incredibly unfamiliar. If I really were a helpless poor girl, I would indeed have no other choice. Unfortunately, he miscalculated. I forced a bitter smile, picked up the divorce agreement, and read it carefully. As I expected, he wanted me to leave with nothing, only giving me the right to use this 3-bedroom apartment. The marriage can end, but I won't sign this agreement. I gritted my teeth. You're the one who cheated, not me, why should I leave with nothing? The one who should leave with nothing is you. However, Kevin seemed to have anticipated this, looking calm. I have nothing but debts, even this house is already mortgaged to the bank. What does that mean? How could he have only debts and no assets? While I was still in shock, Kevin's phone vibrated. He glanced at the screen and answered with a very gentle tone, it'll be done soon, wait a bit longer. No doubt, it was Vivian urging him. Kevin hung up and looked at me impatiently. Sign it quickly, don't waste time. I said angrily, did you transfer marital assets? He didn't answer, only saying, assets aren't important, in the future, I'll take full responsibility for you and the child's life. I bit my lip, the marriage will end, but I won't let go of you transferring marital assets. My family has plenty of money, but I can't swallow this insult. Why does he treat me like this? What do you want to do? Hire a lawyer to sue me? Kevin sneered, face reality, okay? Do you have money to hire a lawyer? Fighting me to the death, what good does it do you? What good does it do the child? We stalemated for a while longer, and his phone rang piercingly again. Kevin clenched his fist, Sophia, don't blame me. Then he stood up, forcefully grabbed me, and forced me to press my fingerprint on the divorce agreement. During the struggle, my protruding abdomen hit the table corner hard. Kevin still ignored it, stuffed the pen into my hand, gripped my wrist, disregarding my pain, and forced me to write my name. Once Kevin got the divorce agreement, he immediately answered Vivian's call while walking out. Kevin, you bastard. I hate you. At the entrance, he turned back to look at me, full of guilt and helplessness. Sophia, I didn't want it this way. You know how much I've sacrificed to climb up. The company's second round of financing is about to start. Without Vivian's help, all my efforts will be in vain. I love you, Sophia. Believe me, only this way can you, me, and the baby live a better life. After saying that, he heartlessly closed the door. My abdomen hurt terribly. Looking down, a streak of bright red flowed from the root of my thigh. Amid the anger, immense fear instantly enveloped me. The pain was so severe I couldn't stand at all, collapsing limply to the ground. With all my strength, I reached the phone on the coffee table to call an ambulance. An hour later, as I was urgently pushed into the operating room in the hospital corridor, someone suddenly called my name, Sophia? In a daze, I saw Vivian. Not far away, Kevin was walking toward her with various forms. Vivian immediately turned back and walked toward Kevin. Honey, I suddenly feel very uncomfortable in my belly. Are you okay? Kevin was extremely nervous, scooped her up without caring about others' gazes, and strode toward the emergency room. I despairingly watched the husband who once vowed to love me for a lifetime. Now he was holding the pregnant mistress, while I, covered in blood, was pushed alone into the cold operating room. The nurse anxiously asked me, "Have you contacted your family?" I didn't want to contact Kevin. I didn't want to see him. Finally, I gave my dad's number. After the anesthesia, I lost consciousness. When I woke up again, I had been transferred to a private hospital. By my side were my parents. "Sophia, you're awake." Mom's eyes were red, tears falling in big drops. Dad held my hand with a face full of worry. "How do you feel now? What exactly happened? Where is Kevin?" Ignoring their questions, I looked at my flat abdomen. "Where's the child?" "Mom and Dad, where's the child?" Dad choked. "The child didn't make it." In an instant, heart-wrenching pain spread through my body. Tears involuntarily slid down, soaking the pillow. "My child is dead, Kevin killed him." Mom and Dad tightly held my hands, consoling sadly. "You can have another child, surviving is already a great fortune." It turns out I had massive bleeding during surgery and slept on the hospital bed for 3 days and nights before waking up. After learning about my experience, my parents wanted to settle accounts with Kevin, but I stopped them. Because that would be too easy on him. I want to avenge my child. I want him and Vivian to have nothing. I recuperated in the private hospital for over half a month. During that time, Kevin called and messaged me a lot. "Sophia, I'll come back to accompany you tonight." "Where are you? Why haven't you come home? Where did a pregnant woman like you run off to?" "Schedule a time to get the divorce certificate. The second round of financing is about to start, and Vivian and I must get married soon. Don't play missing on me. If you don't reply, I'll call the police." Later, he really called the police, but they contacted me, learned I was deliberately avoiding Kevin and not missing, so they closed the case. On the day of discharge, I replied to him, "Kevin, see you at the Civil Affairs Bureau at 3 p.m. As soon as I sent it, his call came immediately, but I didn't answer. After half a month, we met again. Kevin wasn't much different from my impression, just that good things were happening to him, making him even more triumphant. I shifted my gaze to Vivian's slightly protruding belly beside him, and my heart twisted in pain. Her child is fine, but mine didn't even get a chance to see the world. "Your belly?" Kevin suddenly widened his eyes in shock, stepped forward, and grabbed my wrist. "Where's the child?" I smiled bleakly. "Dead." "The child was almost 5 months, you actually aborted him." "Sophia, you're too vicious, too heartless. That was our son." I disgustedly shook him off. "Did I abort him?" "You killed him." Kevin was furious, roaring at me, "Don't use me as an excuse. I didn't make you abort our child. Remember the day you forced me to sign the divorce agreement?" My belly hit the table. Then there was so much blood. "Where were you?" "You were rushing to accompany the mistress for a prenatal checkup." Kevin didn't believe it at all. "Sophia, don't make up such lies. It was just a bump. How could the child be gone? It's not that fragile." So he knew that day he accidentally bumped my belly. Huh. Damn it. Murderer. You don't believe me? I pointed to Vivian. "You can ask your lover. Didn't you see how I was pushed into the operating room that day at the hospital?" When Kevin looked at Vivian, she immediately denied, "You're talking nonsense. I didn't see anything." "Honey, you have to believe me. If I saw something so important, I would definitely say it." "She's wronging me." "I know you wouldn't do that. It's just her making things up." When Kevin wanted to say something to me, I had no patience to entangle with him and went straight into the office hall. No matter what he yelled at me, I ignored it. Once we got the divorce certificate here, he turned around and queued with Vivian to get their marriage certificate. However, it seemed only Vivian was full of joy. Kevin's gaze occasionally fell on me, with obvious gloom between his brows. It seems he was truly sad about the child being gone. Before leaving, I coldly looked at Kevin. I'm curious, how did you confirm that this woman is the daughter of city's richest man, William? Before Kevin could speak, Vivian directly threw me a household registration book. If I'm not the richest man's daughter, are you? Curiously, I opened the household registration book. I never expected that the head of household on Vivian's book was indeed William, and the relationship column said father-daughter. Now it was my turn to be confused. My brother and I are on the same household book as Mom, so I've never seen Dad's household book. I didn't expect there to be another daughter in Dad's book. Holding the divorce certificate, I rushed to the group headquarters to find William. William, who is Vivian? My dad was puzzled. Vivian? Which Vivian? You're still pretending? I said angrily, is there no good man in this world? Even you? Confess honestly, are you hiding from Mom, having a woman outside? Is Vivian your illegitimate daughter? Do you deserve Mom? When you had nothing back then, it was Mom who accompanied you to start from scratch, staying with you until you had stomach bleeding. What nonsense are you talking? My dad's expression immediately became stern. In my life, your mom is the only woman. You and your brother are my only children. Where does an illegitimate daughter come from? Kevin's mistress, she claims to be the daughter of the richest man William. Her household book has you as the head. You're still quibbling. Take out your household book now for me to see. Household book? My dad frowned and suddenly realized, I know who the Vivian you're talking about is. She's a student I sponsored. My dad called in the secretary and showed me Vivian's information. The truth came out. Vivian's original name is Emily. She's a child my dad sponsored for over 10 years. Back when my dad was poorest and most down and out, Vivian's father showed him kindness with a bowl of noodles. So, upon learning that Vivian's parents both died in a car accident, Dad has been sponsoring the benefactor's child. Later, after Vivian graduated from university, she was admitted to City University. Because locals can enjoy better benefits, whether in housing or tuition discounts, Vivian used this as a reason to ask my dad if he could give her a local household registration. My dad treated her like half a daughter, so he spent some money to migrate her to his household. Vivian was deeply moved and insisted on changing her surname to recognize my dad as her godfather, to repay his kindness over the years. In fact, besides Vivian, my dad sponsored many children. Over the years, he only contacted Vivian once or twice. That's why he couldn't remember who Vivian was earlier. When I told Dad that Vivian was Kevin's affair partner, he was so angry he smashed an antique vase worth over 100,000. Dad, they've already gotten married, soon she'll bring Kevin to talk to you about financing. My dad was furious, they're dreaming. Sure enough, not long after, Vivian called my dad, saying she got married and wanted to bring her husband to meet him. When Dad answered the phone, I was right beside him. His face was ashen, but he still restrained himself and said, I'm not your real dad, you should first take your husband to your father's grave to pay respects, meet your father-in-law, not me. Obviously, Vivian was silent for a moment. After a long time, she said pitifully, since my dad passed away, in my heart, you are my real dad, my only family. Dad. That call of Dad was full of emotion, filled with gratitude, and pitiful to hear. However, at this moment, my dad only felt it was utterly absurd. Just as he was red-faced with anger and about to curse, I quickly grabbed the phone, muted it, and soothed him, Dad, calm down, don't forget our plan. My dad took a few deep breaths and calmed down a bit. Okay, I'll send you the address later, come with him then. Although I don't know how she made Kevin think she was coming to meet her in-laws, daring to make up such a lie, Vivian is really bold. 2 days later, it was actually my dad's birthday banquet. Besides many relatives and friends, my dad invited some well-connected business tycoons. At City's most upscale restaurant, Vivian confidently brought Kevin. When I arrived, Vivian introduced Kevin to my dad. Dad, this is my husband Kevin. Kevin presented the big gift he brought with both hands. Dad, wish you good health and longevity like the southern mountains. Kevin had actually contacted my dad long ago. Back then, I begged my dad to exceptionally collaborate on a project with Kevin's small company, but my dad ultimately refused. He felt Kevin's company lacked the ability to complete their project, and also told me that although Kevin is talented, he aims too high, loves shortcuts, and is not a good match. But at that time I was head over heels for Kevin and didn't listen to him. Hello. My dad didn't accept the gift, just coldly glanced at Kevin. I have guests to entertain, excuse me first. Kevin thought he was already the Song family's prized son-in-law, but he was treated so coldly. He anxiously looked at Vivian. What's going on? Your dad seems not to like me much? Didn't you say he really likes me as a son-in-law? He won't refuse the financing, right? Vivian quickly said, how could he? He's just busy today, no time to chat properly with you. Once he's done, he'll talk to you about financing. Kevin was half believing, but why didn't he even accept my gift? Of course, Vivian herself didn't expect my dad to act this way, so she quickly excused, family doesn't need to give gifts, Dad must think you're spending too much. Pfft. I couldn't help laughing out loud. Does Kevin believe such words? It seems in front of Vivian, he has no IQ to speak of. My laughter immediately caught Kevin's attention. After spotting me, he walked over in surprise. Sophia, why are you here? Vivian followed from behind, also very surprised. I shook the red wine glass in my hand. Why can't I be here? Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm actually very familiar with the family's richest man. Kevin didn't believe. How could you be very familiar with William? You've never mentioned it before. How did you sneak in? Vivian sneered. I advise you to leave quickly. My dad's birthday banquet isn't for someone of your status. I mocked. Your dad's birthday banquet? Who is your dad? The family's richest man, William? Otherwise? Vivian arrogantly glanced at me. Get out quickly, or I'll have someone throw you out. Kevin, afraid of causing a scene, quickly soothed Vivian. Forget it, baby, don't argue with her, it's bad if it affects the fetus. After saying that, he turned and grabbed my wrist, sternly warning, Sophia, stop making trouble, leave quickly, this isn't the place for your tantrums. If there's anything, we can sit down and talk after this ends, okay? I fiercely shook him off. Sophia. At that moment, my elegant and luxurious mom returned from the bathroom. She came over, protected me by her side, and knowingly asked, what happened? Who are these two? I said sarcastically, Mom, isn't this my cheating ex-husband, and the other is his pregnant mistress? Kevin and Vivian were stunned in place, especially Vivian. After seeing my mom clearly, her face gradually turned pale. Kevin looked at me incredulously. Aren't your family all farming in the countryside? How could this lady be your mom? I smiled. Why? Don't we look alike? Since childhood, people have said I look like my mom, almost like a copy. However, my mom's whole body exudes a noble lady's aura, completely unlike a rural farmwoman. While Kevin was still shockingly digesting this, the host asked the guests to be seated. The banquet officially began. I linked arms with Mom and walked to the main table. Behind, Kevin held Vivian's hand. Let's start the banquet first, get the financing settled. But Vivian stood rooted to the spot, unable to move. Honey, I suddenly feel a bit of pain in my belly, maybe we should go back first. Kevin frowned. You were fine, why sudden belly pain? Today father-in-law is happy, we need to seize the chance to mention financing to him. Vivian, but my belly really hurts, he's my dad, there will be plenty of opportunities later. Then wait, now that we're here, at least go notify father-in-law, especially since your belly is uncomfortable. Then Kevin directly left Vivian and jogged to my dad, anxiously saying, Dad, Vivian's belly is uncomfortable, she might need to go to the hospital. Hearing him call Dad, everyone's gazes fell on Kevin. My dad raised his voice disdainfully. Who is your dad? Don't call randomly, my eldest son is still abroad, and my daughter is single now. Kevin embarrassedly said, Dad, I'm your daughter Vivian's husband, we just got married not long ago, didn't we just meet earlier? Vivian? Who is Vivian? My dad looked at me, baby daughter, stand up and let everyone know you." "Okay, Dad." I stood up. My dad then walked to my side. "I have to say, girls change a lot when they grow up. Everyone might not recognize her. She is my William's only daughter, Sophia." Kevin froze entirely, staring at me dazedly. "How is this possible?" "Why not?" My mom also stood up. "Sophia is our biological daughter, the Song family's only heiress." Kevin unwillingly pointed to Vivian not far away. "Then who is she?" "Didn't Vivian just call you Dad, William? And you're on the same household book? Could Vivian be your illegitimate daughter?" "Pfft. What illegitimate daughter?" My mom disdainfully said. "Have her come explain herself what her identity is." Kevin's face turned red, roaring at Vivian. "What's going on? Aren't you William's daughter?" Under everyone's eyes, Vivian couldn't lie anymore. Instead, she backstabbed Kevin, quibbling. "Honey, you misunderstood. I didn't say I was Mr. Williams' biological daughter. He is my godfather." Kevin was completely dumbfounded. Having endured all evening, my dad could no longer suppress his anger, accusing Vivian. "Goddaughter? You deserve it? Back then, because of your father's bowl of noodles, I sponsored you for over 10 years, thinking you were a child excellent inside and out, with virtue and achievements equally outstanding. You stole someone's husband, got pregnant out of wedlock, and killed my unborn grandchild. It's simply moral decay. Worse than pigs and dogs. From now on, don't dream of using my connections to gain any benefit from me." After saying that, my dad turned and slapped Kevin hard. "And you? This ungrateful, shameless scum. Both of you get out now." Just like that, Kevin and Vivian were embarrassingly driven out. Kevin probably never imagined that his carefully planned dream of climbing to wealth would shatter like this. However, as the banquet ended and I was about to go back with my family, Kevin was still sitting at the hotel entrance. No doubt, he was waiting for me. My parents wanted to drive him away, but I stopped them. After all, we were husband and wife. It's time for closure. "Sophia, we've been together for so many years, and you've been toying with me all along. Why didn't you tell me you're William's daughter? Is it fun to treat me like a monkey?" I really couldn't understand how at this time he still had the face to bite back at me, blaming all the faults on me. "Kevin, I hid it from you because when I married you, my parents strongly opposed it. And for you, I didn't hesitate to cut ties with them. But how did you slap me in the face? How did you make me regret? Remember the day you told me Vivian was pregnant with your child? Just a few minutes before your call, my mom called, saying she was willing to accept you and asked me to bring you home. I was thrilled and wanted to tell you the truth immediately, but what happened? Finally, I almost roared, you're the one who truly made me a joke. A fool. 10 years of youth. All wasted on a selfish, heartless, disloyal dog like you." Kevin looked at me with endless regret. "I'm sorry." "What's the point of saying sorry now?" I threw a lawyer's letter at him. "This is a lawsuit, your marital infidelity, malicious transfer of marital assets, forcing me to sign an unequal divorce agreement, one by one, I'll get them back." Kevin collapsed. "Sophia." Now, Kevin not only failed to get financing but also offended the family's richest man. Anyone with even a bit of connection to my family won't associate with him. Moreover, the richest man in city's ex-son-in-law cheating with a fake, shooting himself in the foot, was big news. In just one night, the internet was buzzing with it, and someone posted the video of my dad berating Kevin and Vivian online. In the following days, more people dug up various details of Kevin and Vivian's affair, and photos of me with a big pregnant belly still living frugally. Kevin and Vivian completely became rats that everyone shouts to beat. And I'm only 25 this year. Luckily, I woke up not too late, preparing to go abroad for business management studies. Kevin didn't make me wait too long, he soon couldn't hold on. After financing failed, his company's capital chain broke, and facing divorce litigation, he was desperate and could only contact my lawyer, hoping to reach a settlement. In fact, all his current assets aren't enough to fill the company's funds, suing him would just waste time. Now, the only thing of value he has is his software company. However, the company is Kevin's life, more important than his wife. On the day of out-of-court negotiation, Kevin begged with red eyes, "Sophia, I'm sorry, I was stupid, deceived by that bitch Vivian, now I know I was wrong. With so many years of feelings, can't you give me one chance?" I smiled sarcastically, "Kevin, I can give you a chance." Kevin excitedly, "Really?" "Sophia, as long as you can forgive me, I'll agree to anything. As long as you can revive my dead child, I'll give you a chance." Kevin's face instantly flashed pale. "Sophia, don't joke, how is that possible?" "Yes, how can the dead come back to life?" I looked at him with eyes full of resentment. "Then if I give you a chance, who gives my child a chance?" "Kevin, your current plight is all your own doing. You killed the child, I'll never forgive you in this lifetime." As I stood to leave, Kevin plopped down on his knees at my feet. "I'm sorry, wife. Please. As long as you forgive me, I'll do anything." Kevin has always had strong arrogant pride, even in such downfall. He came today still in suit and tie, looking neat and tidy. No one expected him to suddenly break down emotionally and kneel before me, tears smashing big drops on the floor. But his appearance didn't stir much in my heart. I just felt he was too hateful. "Kevin, it's useless, no matter how you play pitiful, I won't soften toward you. Leave yourself some dignity." After saying that, I left without looking back, leaving Kevin kneeling there, crying heart-wrenchingly. In the end, Kevin surprisingly gave up the company he had operated hard for years. The final settlement agreement was handled by the lawyer. I didn't see Kevin again, because I had already boarded an international flight, embarking on my path to study. Arriving in M country, with my brother's help, I quickly adapted to life abroad and immersed myself fully in studies. Moreover, my brother's company abroad was developing better and better. Half a year later, he arranged an internship for me, and I started familiarizing myself with the family business while studying. Just like that, 3 years passed in a flash. During that time, many excellent men pursued me. But love has become optional for me. Family, career, and enjoying moments of life are the most important to me. But if I meet someone who moves my heart, I would still love without hesitation. Someone like Kevin isn't worth me losing the ability to love because of him. That day, I returned to the country with my brother. After leaving the airport, we went shopping at the mall and bought many gifts. On the way back, brother went to get the car, and I waited at the mall entrance. A delivery guy came toward me and suddenly stopped in front of me. I looked up, it was actually Kevin. He was wearing a delivery uniform, dark and thin, full of vicissitudes, completely without his former social elite appearance. My heart suddenly felt a sigh. After all, he was a top student from Jing University, yet reduced to this. When he spoke, his voice trembled. "Sophia, long time no see." I curved a faint smile. "Long time no see. I heard you went abroad, are you doing well? What do you think?" Beep beep, the Maybach stopped in front of us. Brother got out, thinking I was being harassed, and immediately protected me behind him. Kevin's gaze fearfully glanced over my brother. In a high-end suit, young and handsome, exuding noble status all over. "Is this your boyfriend?" I didn't answer him, only said, "Kevin, let past things be past. If we meet again in the future, please don't greet me." Kevin nodded awkwardly at me. Brother probably guessed who he was, contemptuously glanced at him, then opened the car door for me. After returning this time, Dad plans to hand over the group entirely to me and brother. From then on, I'll handle the group's domestic business, and brother the international. A few days later, the inauguration ceremony was held at N City's largest hotel. After Dad personally went on stage for the handover, I stood on stage accepting everyone's applause. At that moment, a woman in waitress clothing suddenly rushed up with a knife. "Sophia, you bitch, I'm the real heiress, go die." The bodyguards quickly rushed up. However, just before the knife stabbed toward my heart, Kevin in security uniform rushed out and blocked in front of me. Blood spurted out immediately. "Honey!" Vivian instantly let go and was controlled by the bodyguards. "Are you crazy? Did you forget how this bitch treated us? Why save her? I'm your wife. Then Vivian laughed maniacally. I knew it, after so many years, you still miss this bitch. Sophia, you shameless mistress, you stole my husband. Shameless. Kevin tightly held my hand. I'm sorry, Sophia, I owe your son's life, now I'm giving it back. This fool, I actually for pursuing fame and fortune, greedily, lost you. Sophia, I love you, this is true, you're the only woman I've truly loved. Please forgive me, okay? A tear of mine fell on his face. Kevin, don't speak anymore, the doctor will come soon, you won't die. However, Kevin still died in the end. After Vivian's lies were exposed that year, she suffered severe online backlash, and Kevin hated her to the core, sued for divorce, and didn't even want the child in her belly. Later, Vivian had a stillbirth due to depression, and she became completely insane. Karma cycles. Vivian committed suicide not long after entering prison. But their matters didn't affect me much. I stand on an city's tallest skyscraper, overlooking the entire city, enjoying my own brilliant future.